Not quite as much squeakos bumos as, I don't know, 5 minutes before the end of the game of Everton versus Aston Villa. But it's a slight squeak, a mouse-like squeak, but not the full rusty barn door. I'm talking about it squeaking here, if you know what I mean. That's got to be a killer blow for Aston Villa. Not the end of things. Not by a long shot. Of course, there's a lot of football for them left to play, but I just mean in terms of the psyche, in terms of the spirit of the team, to think that they were winning that game, to think that that would have been 3 points in the bag. They must have been mentally thinking that. I don't care how professional you profess to be, or how much you prepare, or how much the manager might have been trying to keep them focused on the sidelines. You've got to, in your mind, have a little inkling of, that's it, we've got it. We've done the 3 points. We've seen this out. We've been better than Everton. They've been crap, so on and so forth. And it's got to be a bitter pill to swallow, bearing in mind the way, the small margins of how the goal was given. But anyway, bad for Aston Villa, good for West Ham, good for Watford. How that plays out, I've been looking, just before I've made this video, I've been looking at the a couple of the apps here, and one of the apps here is calling it the Battle of London, which is not strictly true, is it? Maybe they've been influenced by the London on our badge, but of course Watford certainly isn't in London. It's almost northern, isn't it, really? But anyway, it's one of the classic battles, quite possibly, it may turn out to be. But it's still going to be a humdinger of a game. We've still absolutely got to go for this. We've got to win the game, really. And I look at Aston Villa, and I'm not entirely sure they win another game from now until the end of the season. So, of course, I could be wrong. Of course I could. I can't see into the future. But Bournemouth, I think, is slightly different. I think Bournemouth looked so good against Manchester City. I think that Bournemouth probably can beat Everton when they play them. The South Coast derby's a strange one. I've lived down there. I've got a lot of friends that are Bournemouth fans. I've been to Bournemouth games. You don't think much of it when you're up here, you know, and in different places up and down the country. It's not the first sort of derby that springs to mind. And certainly in terms of that area, the Portsmouth and Southampton derby is much more prominent, but it's feisty, and it's an important game. It's particularly an important game to Bournemouth. And Eddie Howe comes from the area. Eddie Howe went to school in... Eddie Howe lives in Bournemouth, played for Bournemouth. He went to school, I think, in Verwood, which is not far away. He's been in and around the area all of his life. So beating Southampton is a massive, massive game for him. And he will drum it into the players. Not that I think they need that much motivating. They looked highly motivated against Manchester City. And I wasn't even sure that Manchester City had possibly ever come under the cosh to that extent before. I think that is possibly the first time that Manchester City, since Pep Guardiola's been in charge at least, have had an opposition have more shots than them at the Etihad. Something like that. Some sort of stat like that. I looked at it when the injury time went up, and it was 6 minutes. Well, there's no way. There's absolutely no way the Bournemouth are not going to score it. But anyway, but they didn't. And they will consider themselves unlucky, but I think they're going to get another 3 points. They might get more. So we need to insulate ourselves from that. I do think the goal difference is good. I've never thought we were particularly going to go down, but it makes it interesting. I still think tomorrow's game is huge. Would have been a monstrous game had Aston Villa managed to beat Everton. But I say tomorrow, it's today. Sorry, I'm going to load this video today. So today is Friday, the morning of the game, which means I can tell you about the new kit. Because it's not tonight. It's tomorrow. I'm going to show you this new kit. It's a new away strip. Now, I need to have a little look at it myself. That's a Mr. Robert Snodgrass there. He loves it. He's shouting. Or is he angry? He's either happy or angry. I think he's happy. He's telling everyone. He's shouting, "I got a new kit," is what he's shouting. I think that's what he's saying. Snodgrass then. Mark Noble. That is Mark Noble, by the way, just in case you thought it was Chris Froome or Bradley Wiggins in their cycling gear. He don't like it, does he? He's not happy, Mark. He's saying, "I don't like this. Don't like this kit. Snodgrass likes it. I'm not so keen myself." I quite like it. Alan's not modelling it later. By the way, he's doing the West Ham Speedos from the club shop. He's not. Don't worry about it. I like that kit. I quite like the away kit there. Actually, not bad at all. It's all blue. The blue short, the blue socks, the blue top, obviously. Couple of hoops. It's a kit. There you go. Don't mind that at all. Right, a couple of things to go through. First of all, West Ham have been linked. I love this, by the way, because I think this player's fantastic. Matheus Pereira. Plays for West Brom. You seen him? I've only noticed him from when Diangana's been playing. I think this geezer is brilliant. Do we need him? Quite possibly not. I don't know. But I really like him. I don't know. We've been linked for him. This is in the old One Football app. Been linked for him there. Might just be a dodgy old rumour. Someone's made it up. But I like it. And I certainly wouldn't say no. I certainly like it better than the rumour. I don't know if you've heard this one, which basically says Chelsea are offering 3 senior stars to West Ham in exchange for Declan Rice, which is either Zamora, which would be good because he could have the Zamora song, couldn't he? Or Kurt Zuma. Can't think of a song for him. Not at the moment, off the top of my head. And or Batshuayi. Now, I think it basically, reading between the lines, means that Chelsea can't afford Declan Rice. Forget the defenders for a minute, if you will. Well, not for a minute. Forget them at all. I won't go back and talk about the defenders because there's 2 other things to talk about. But Batshuayi's had 3 opportunities to come to West Ham, and he's turned them down on every single occasion. So this is not a player we should be even considering. I'm not saying we are. I don't think this story's come out of West Ham. I think it's come out of Chelsea. I think Chelsea are leaking this. It's basically saying, which cast-offs do you want? I just don't think it's anything. Everything I said about Bowen and I've said about Souček, which they want to play for us. They like being here. They're dedicated. They're committed. You're getting exactly the opposite with Batshuayi, regardless of whether you think he's an excellent player or whatever. He's had 3 opportunities to come here, and he's turned us down each time. The last time he turned us down in favour of Crystal Palace. Now, fair enough. Look at where Crystal Palace are in the league. Look at where we are in the league, and this is now. Maybe Crystal Palace are a better football club than us at this present moment in time. So maybe it wasn't a bad choice, but it's still, he doesn't want to come to West Ham. Several opportunities, he said no every single time. Let us discount that. Rangers have also been linked with Grady Diangana. I don't know whether that's just lazy and whoever wrote the story got it wrong because it was Celtic. And they thought, actually, let's lump Rangers in with it as well. But the other rumour, which is really quite interesting, which brings a Rangers thing into play. I don't know if this would be a swap deal or anything, but it says we are interested in Alfredo Morelos. Whether or not you follow your Scottish football or not, excellent player. He's a red card waiting to happen. He gets a lot of red cards. He's Scott Brown's dream, by the way. Whenever they play, you almost feel like Scott Brown is just thinking, I'm going to get this player sent off. Very good player, though. And I'm sure he would do quite well in the Premier League. I'm sure he could do quite well at West Ham. Wouldn't mind at all if that was a sensible and serious link. Gonzalo, that wonderful name, Gonzalo Montiel has been linked with us again. I think it's just, I've got a feeling that's a regurgitated story, but I do like him. I think he's a very, very good player. Right, just before we finish off, I don't like Mark Lawrenson. I think he's a bit grumpy, mind you, so am I. I also think I think he's unfair in his predictions of West Ham. Not so much this season, but just historically. I don't like Mark Lawrence. I think when he does his predictions, I think, oh, come on, leave it out. And I always felt that I had a kindred spirit in Claret and Hugh, who also, like me, didn't like Mark Lawrenson. I'm going to read to you now some historical Claret and Hugh posts. C&H takes on Lawrenson. Predictable Mark Lawrenson is back in the old routine, predicting a West Ham defeat. Lawrenson, the only tipster out of step. 3 major pundits all agreed that West Ham will not lose at Huddersfield this weekend, but only Mark Lawrenson has failed to predict a Hammers victory. Another article. Bad loser Lawrenson can't take it. Mark Lawrenson deserves every bit of abuse he received from West Ham fans this morning after a new attack on the team. Lawrenson's at it again. This really needs no comment from me other than to say that Mark Lawrenson's animosity towards West Ham is now beyond a joke. There's another one which pays. There's lots. There's another one. Mr. Lawrenson, you are a joke. Mark Lawrenson truly has become an absolute joke to most people at West Ham. Article after article criticising Mark Lawrenson. I mean, 3 years of it. I don't disagree, by the way. I do not like Mark Lawrenson, but I had to laugh at yesterday's. See, yesterday's article in Claret and Hugh. With all that in mind, the headline said this: top pundit backs Irons to beat Hornets. Mark Lawrenson is back. Mark Lawrenson backs the Irons to win tomorrow's crunch match at the London Stadium against Watford. Top pundit. So it's a case of, yeah, you know what, Mark, I always knew you were a top pundit. I don't care what anyone else says about you. You're the guy. You always get your predictions right, Mark. I've always been a great fan of yours. When everyone else said that you were crap, I've always defended you. I liked it. It made me chuckle anyway. Top pundit backs Irons to beat Hornets. I back the Irons to beat the Hornets. I'm not a top pundit. I'm not even a pundit, am I? I'm just a bloke in a shed, really. I back the Irons to beat the Hornets. Join us tonight. I think our build-up show is around 7ish with the team. Team news out there. Enjoy the game.